Hey, hey, thank you, Soaring Hawk, for the beautiful song. Let's give Soaring Hawk a big round of applause.
There you are. Thank you. You can't really miss a minute. Slow and steady.
Today, it's about partnerships. It's about unity. First of all, let us say good morning to everybody that's out here in the audience. But first of all, I'd like to speak my language. I always speak my language before I go speak English. So, so nanako mako kete kigisep mako pinot poganan. Kagis moat weko tais sig nom guys gisigang. Some no woga pakte na ming no moa I kapesiu kameko. Pibe no geda nakotan kino ten sapem na nikogo. Mikisin taventa moat me on sort ke jota kuesim kaming ke jota misa I dependa min ke go. Megit min saa minä kiskittoat kehtiämnä ne kahkena hans na peu ta kihkana gayo mitkisin taventa moat ke go ta ko misim kaming ut nuno pesio kamigon puske ke go pehkan tio tam kaming maga no kum sego kio pata na gune dependa mego kino ta pesio kam kino dependa mego ko ni no kino keste kahkena penochi skaya kahkena kitipenta mo magam no na ko mago ko katagus no to ma ogema sago ko ni gan ga po to chana ko ma no marlin mo ga pet miem no mi ogema ko mi Alberta me on chogema ko ga ta ko sing bana na ko ma so kahkena keste na ko ma samno go mana wega po ni ponge tota mo ko ogema ka na go na wega wit ka po to gani patota mo papan ska pintikan to ni po sang gen das time ge go ta ko no sig ni ga note maga nyo pata men ani ga gi go ni ga da ko mis ma mo wi chi tinke go te ta me no sig mi angam sa mi ngap men sa men ko ma mo wi chi ti men ka kina ta ki ka na no ko ma ta ko ma mo wi chi ting te ta me no na wang ni ga note. Hey, good morning. Just like to thank our two elders that did the prayer this morning, Jimmy and Teresa. They opened a prayer with a pipe to bless our hotel here, and just like to acknowledge them that it's a big thing today. It's a huge day for our community. And what I just said in my language, it's not only for us, it's for our people, our elders, our young ones. And many years ago, people wanted something that we had to find to really own as ownership of our cheese. So in the past, we started doing these ventures, joint ventures, oil companies, and our former chief, Darren Whitford, was the one that said, let's go. So we went to Calgary for a few days, and we did a 4 or 5 year plan. And we came up with a way to make our cheese, to make it profitable, not only just living off the government dollars. So we have found a way to do that, and we started getting into these ventures, and today we own a lot of businesses. Like this one is a big thing that we just purchased, and it's a huge thing for our people. And it all came from our former chief. His dream was to have ownership within our community. And as chief here, standing here as chief, I want to continue doing what his dream was. And today is a big day for us, and it's a huge, huge thing for our nations. And I'd like to thank the ministers for coming down. Marlene Poitras is our regional chief of Alberta. I'd just like to thank everybody for coming down. I know I only have 10 minutes up here. I would say more, but I don't want to do the Indian time thing here, so I just like to thank everybody for coming down. Forwarders from Spartan, Minister Wilson, Nixon, Grecian, and Nixon. There's so many of you that I'm glad you came down. And I'm just excited about it today. I know it's a huge thing for us, and I'd like to thank all the people for coming here. And I want to say more, but I got to cut it short here. But I'd just like to thank the elders, the people, community members, the ministers, our regional chief Marlene, Alan, and the dancers. You look beautiful out there coming in here, and the drummers, they sing a beautiful song here. So I want to continue, but I can't, so I'd like to end it there, and have a good day, everybody. Thank you.
Danse, de tomskatnau kakiao. Niganu tawinao na naskomao, nuskisagao, amigoyak. Mewitino da binatumgayak. Natumgayak has to be to celebrate. So I first of all, like Chief Beaverbone said, it's very important for me to speak our language because our ancestors are with us all the time. So we acknowledge them by speaking our language. So I just want to say huge thank you to Chief Beaverbone for the invitation and your beautiful council, your members that are here, your elders. Thank you to the elder for the pipe ceremony this morning and for your prayers. You know, that's a beautiful way always to start the day. The Honorable Premier, thank you for being here and keep up the good work that you're doing. I know it's tough, but you know, we got to do what we got to do, right? Minister Wilson, Minister Nixon, the rest of the ministers, education, right? It's great, Grange, yeah, thank you. It's great to be here in this momentous occasion. I'm truly, truly honored to witness the ribbon cutting, and you know, look at the size of this room. You know, you can have AFN assemblies here, but it's truly an honor. And you know, our people, it just goes to show that you know, success is reachable. You know, our people have been oppressed for so long. You know, we had to rely on government handouts all the time, and you know, which wasn't always to our benefit. But you know, to see a community like Cochise that's prospering in their economic development initiatives and partnerships is it's a real honor to witness, because it just shows me that our people are coming out of this dark era. You know, we're moving into the light, and the only way we can do that is working with our partners, the province and, you know, federal government, whoever we work with, we can work with to achieve success. We have to create those partnerships, and unity is so important right now, more than ever. You know, I want to acknowledge as well those children that are, you know, being discovered, and you know, they've waken us up. And you know, this is for them as well. This is for our ancestors. So, you know, it's just truly a blessing to be here, and so I thank you all for the opportunity to witness this huge and successful event. Hai hai, nanaskumt nao kakiao.
I'd like to invite Honorable Jason Kenney to the stage, the 18th Premier of Alberta. He comes to us from Oakville, Ontario. He's been to a number of institutions, universities, Wilcox, Saskatchewan, Victoria, BC, Michael's University, and in the city of San Francisco. He began his career in the public service in 1989 as a taxpayer's executive director. Honorable Jason Kenney has held positions in the Reform Party and as of late the Conservative Party, and with the highest vote tally in any party in the provincial history, Premier Jason Kenney was voted in April 2019. Welcome, Premier Kenney.
Miigwech, thank you so much. Chief, elders, councillors, elected officials, thank you all. Thank you to the elders for starting us off in a good way with grace, prayer, and illumination, and for inviting me to join in the pipe ceremony. Thank you, Chief, for welcoming us here to Treaty 6 traditional territory to celebrate this momentous occasion. And most importantly, congratulations to Ochese First Nation for taking ownership of this, one of the biggest and best known hotels in the whole province of Alberta, a hotel that you can see all across Red Deer and from much of central Alberta. I think it is a wonderful symbol of the emergence, the rising of the Ochese First Nation, and as Regional Chief Poitras said, of First Nations generally. This is the culmination of years of hard work and vision on behalf of Ochese people and leadership to move forward in the path of prosperity. I am so encouraged, and I know Albertans will be so encouraged to know that this landmark hotel, where so many of our province's big events take place, is now the property of a proud First Nation. Knowing that you are taking charge of your destiny, you are determining your path forward. The revenues that will be generated out of this hotel will be reinvested in your nation, in the education and development of your young people and their talent, and also in other businesses that will continue to strengthen your resilience, your financial independence, your autonomy. We can talk about self-government, but it doesn't matter very much if nations are dependent on Canadian governments for their income. Real self-government comes with financial independence, and financial independence comes with entrepreneurship, with enterprise, with participating fully in the economy in a way that this hotel now represents. I understand, Chief, you're going to be moving the casino into this big hall here. Is that true? Okay, well, you might catch me here giving you guys some donations at the blackjack table in the future. I even took Minister Rick into the casino up in Edmonton, Enoch there, and we lost about $40 at the slots, but it was all my money. He's so cheap he wouldn't put anything in himself. But I think that's fantastic, this multifaceted economic development strategy in partnership with the private sector and with the province. And let me say something, this hotel can be a big draw for tourism as well. And Alberta's government believes that we can make together Indigenous tourism a key draw for people from all around the world. There are people around the world who love the stories, the color, the regalia, the ceremony, and the history of the First Nations on the Canadian prairies. They want to know it better. And we, Chief, we want to work with you and your council and other First Nations, Marlene, on how we can turn First Nations tourism into a world-class offering that brings people from around the world, and it helps you as communities to celebrate your culture and heritage and to share it with other folks from across Canada and around the world. So we put some money in this year's budget to support First Nations tourism. I also want to salute Ochis for being partners in responsible resource development. It's been a tough year last year in our energy sector, but I always say that First Nations must benefit from the development of the resources that lie below the lands that were first inhabited by your ancestors. And that's why our government has launched, I think, what will be one of our most important legacies as a government, as a province, the Indigenous Opportunities Corporation. I want to thank Minister Wilson and his team for their good work on that. And Ochis is a partner with us in one of the projects that has come out of the Indigenous Opportunities Corporation. That is the Cascade Power Project. And there are a lot more exciting projects that will come out, because we don't just want to see First Nations get benefit agreements from the energy sector and infrastructure. We want them to have a real ownership stake in projects like that. You're also participating in the site rehabilitation program. We've set aside at least 10% of that, so over $100 million to help First Nations contractors in remediating and completing wells, particularly prioritizing those on reserve land. I want to congratulate you, Ochis Contracting, and your work with Cenovus on the Clearwater Abandonment Program, and for your work through Ochis Market and expanding the fleet at Ochis Contracting. You guys are becoming a major driver of the Alberta economy. You should be so proud of what you have achieved. And as I say, for years to come, you'll be able to look from miles around and see this tower, this hotel tower, and realize that it belongs to First Nations, to the Ochis First Nation. Thank you to this nation for showing the way forward. Thank you for being partners in prosperity. Good luck and God bless Miigwech.
We just had our election here recently, and I just wanted to acknowledge the previous council. They were a huge part of making this hotel a reality. I just wanted to acknowledge Barry Soto, Robert Strawberry, Cedric Whitford, Sandra Beaverbone, and Cleon Strawberry. Let's give those guys a big round of applause. Without them, we wouldn't be here today. MP Earl Dreeshen. Minister Dreeshen is a local man. He holds a degree in education, and he has served on many local committees, including health, public accounts, ethics, Aboriginal affairs, trade and agriculture. He currently sits on the Industry and Science and Technology Committee. Welcome, Minister Dreeshen. I hope I said your name right.
Well, thank you very much, and indeed it's an honor for me to be here to help us celebrate the new beginnings of this Red Deer icon in the hospitality industry. It's important to respectfully acknowledge that we are gathered on traditional territories of First Nations people, and we offer thanks to the descendants of these First Peoples who continue to live in this area and who are deeply tied to this particular territory, their practices, ceremonies, and daily lives which are part of this land. As long as the sun shines, the river flows, and the grass grows. It was 45 years ago this week that those words would become etched in my narrative as I read them for the first time off a commemorative plaque that I received honoring the Treaty 6 Centennial Celebration. I was privileged to attend this Treaty 6 Centennial Celebration at Saddle Lake with so many dignitaries in attendance, including Premier Peter Lougheed, as well as numerous chiefs and elders. So today, to celebrate this gathering with our Premier, Jason Kenney, Chief Douglas Beaverbones, Mayors Veer and Wood, and so many honorable ministers, band council members, and elders fills me with great pride. I'd also like to take this time to welcome and greet Chief Douglas Beaverbones and all of the councillors, Bernadine Coleman, Martin Ironbow, Ryan Littlejohn, Herman Poorman, Malcolm Whitford, and Phyllis Whitford, and again, all of the elders that are so important to our community. As long as the sun shines, the river flows, and the grass grows. These are words that bear repeating, words that have taught me many things throughout this journey, as I said, began 45 years ago. They acquainted me with reverence for our First Nations brothers and sisters, offered me guidance in cherishing all of our elders, and enlightened me on how to listen to their stories. It served as a reminder that our natural resources, our oil and gas, our forestry, our agriculture and fisheries are important indicators of both our resilience and our abundance as a province and people. They accentuated the human bond that exists with our lands and reminded me of the rich history our First Nations have had as caretakers and as custodians of both place and memory. Today's gathering is an example of the hard work and perseverance of the Ochese Band and their dedication to investing in business opportunities. It sets a precedence within the community that teamwork fuels empowerment, which in turn honors their vision to uphold their inherent rights to their lands, community, and resources. It promotes unity among us all with trust, respect, and kindness. That commemorative plaque that I was given was displayed in my classroom for over 30 years, and it was one of the first things I packed for Ottawa, where it hangs on my office wall. It's a symbol of the gratitude I feel to represent this community as a member of Parliament. It also serves as a reminder that the stewardship of our lands, our water, and our air must take up permanent residence in our thoughts, and that the resources within our province must be shared and used wisely. I've had the privilege of meeting many First Nation entrepreneurs and businessmen in my travels and can attest to their dedication and their unique understanding that conservation of both land and culture means development as much as protection. As we spend this morning together in tradition and modernity, I'm reminded of that vision from almost half a century ago that served to guide me the past 13 years as your Member of Parliament. I'm proud to continue to advocate for the expansion of businesses such as this one, which promotes inclusive and innovative methods for success and development, working with all levels of government to build and secure a prosperous future for the next generations. I bring with me gratitude and greetings from my colleagues in Ottawa, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here today as yet another generation of First Nations become a household name in the Red Deer business community. Miigwech.
I'd like to welcome Honorable Jason Nixon. He is the Minister of Environment and Parks Government House Leader. Minister Nixon was sworn into office May of 2019. He has a diploma in business administration from SAIT and a National Safety Officer designation from the Alberta Construction Safety Association. He resides in Sundre and was the 892nd member to be sworn in the Legislative Assembly of Alberta. Let's give Jason Nixon a big round of applause.
Ochese now will be on the extreme west end of Highway 11, but also on the east end here, and we'll bookend the Highway 11 corridor community of central Alberta, of which I call home, of course, here in Alberta, but every community in between on your way to the most beautiful place in the constituency, in the province, up inside the David Thompson corridor in the Rocky Mountains. And I see representatives from all of that area here today really showing how this is bringing our community together, from Benalto, Sylvan Lake, Red Deer County, Lacombe County, Clearwater County, Eckville, and a whole bunch of other towns I likely missed and I'm going to be in trouble for afterwards. But it is great to see. As a representative of Rimbey Rocky Mount House Sundre, I would also like to say that our riding has been a meeting place for centuries, and we are proud to share the land and water collectively as Indigenous, Métis, and non-Indigenous people inside our community. And where we're standing today is equally an important meeting place, and I dare say it has historical significance to this province and to the country in the kind of events that have been hosted here. Although the very first Alberta Conservative Convention in 1903 happened at the Buffalo or Arlington Hotel in Red Deer, our own present-day political party, the United Conservative Party, held our founding convention on this very floor and made the platform decisions that would propel us into government in 2018 and would set the direction of this province for decades to come. And many other political parties recently have held their conventions right here and made the decisions that would shape the future of our province on the very floor of this convention floor. That's why I'm honored to be witness to the very special blessing by the elders this morning and this ribbon cutting, because I have no doubt this place will continue to be an important part of the cultural and political fabric of this province. I'm very excited for the opportunity this brings the Ochese First Nation, and I look forward to working with all of you to continue to make this the destination of choice for Albertans and those visiting our beautiful province.
Let's welcome Honorable Adriana LaGrange, Minister for Education. Adriana brings experience as a former school division trustee and has filled many roles, including the management of the family farm. Adriana holds a diploma in rehabilitative studies. We welcome the Honorable LaGrange.
And from one of the tallest MLAs to one of the shortest MLAs, hope you can see me over the podium. Good morning, everyone. As the MLA for Red Deer North, I'm extremely honored to be part of this grand opening and blessing of the Cambridge Hotel. I would like to acknowledge all of the honored guests here today and thank the Ochese First Nation in Cambridge Hotel for hosting such a wonderful event. It is always so great to see businesses in Alberta that are locally owned and operated. Small and medium businesses like this are the backbone of our economy. I believe that history is being made here today as one of the best hotels here in Red Deer and all of Central Alberta, and as the Premier said, in all of Alberta altogether, is now owned by the Ochese First Nations. I personally have attended many fun-filled galas and foundations and conferences here at this hotel, and I look forward to creating many, many, many more memories here in the months and years ahead. Once again, I want to thank the First Nation for all of their hard work that have gone into this opening, and as we come out of the pandemic with a renewed sense of optimism in Alberta, I salute your entrepreneurial spirit and wish you every success, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you. So thank you all for being here today.
Honorable Jason Stefan, MLA for Red Deer South. Jason has served on the Treasury Board. He is a lawyer and a chartered professional accountant. Jason graduated from the University of Calgary. Let's welcome Jason. Jason Stefan.
It's an honor to be here amongst friends this morning. I remember growing up in Red Deer. At that time, the Cambridge was known as the Capri Hotel. As a young tax lawyer, I had the opportunity to meet and serve the owner of the Capri at that time, the Pasuto family, in a tax matter. The Pasuto family had great vision and faith in our community. Today, the Ochese First Nation is likewise demonstrating faith and vision in their acquisition of this wonderful facility. As the MLA for Red Deer South, where the Cambridge is situate, I wish to congratulate the Ochese First Nation with this hotel. And on a personal note, as a father of children and young adults, for me, one of the highlights here is seeing your children and your young adults here. And I wish from the inmost part of my heart that this investment not only blesses our community, but blesses and provides opportunities and prosperity to the children and to the young adults of the Ochese First Nation. Congratulations. I look forward to many great experiences and memories together. Thank you.
Next, we have Tara Veer, the Mayor of Red Deer. Tara has been serving in her community since 2004 in the capacity of council and mayor since 2013. Tara has participated on many committees and has held several appointments. She has Bachelor of Arts with a sociology major. Mayor Beer has many awards for her community commitments. Thank you for being here today.
Well, good morning, everyone. Chief Beaverbones, Regional Chief Poitras, councillors, Indigenous elders, premier, ministers, honored dignitaries and guests, and above all, the people of the Ochese First Nation. Good morning. On behalf of my council colleagues and I, we proudly acknowledge the ancestral and traditional territories of the Treaty 6 Cree and Treaty 7 Blackfoot and Stoney Nations. We also proudly recognize this region as a historical Métis gathering site, and we are grateful to be here and gather with you all today. As many have said, today is a momentous day, and we are extremely proud that we are marking the beginning of a new day, of history in the making for this site, for our city, and for our province. I'm joined today by members of my council team, Councillors Wong, Councillor Weinches, Councillor Lee, and Councillor Johnston. Please join me in welcoming them. Today marks the beginning of not only the realization of a project that we welcome to our city, and we welcome the economic vitality and prosperity back to our community that this project will mean as we rebuild our tourism economy. But this project will also provide Red Deerians, Central Albertans, Western Canadians with new opportunities for Indigenous cultural awareness, respect, and appreciation. The City of Red Deer supports the vision of Ochese hospitality and all that it means for not only the people of Red Deer and Alberta, but as an example, as so many have noted, for our province and country of a community's shared journey towards reconciliation as we partner in unity and cultural celebration. I also want to take this opportunity today to reaffirm and to publicly proclaim that our city deeply values our relationships with our urban and the Central Alberta Indigenous community. We are honored to be working with Ochese Hospitality on this project, and we remain, above all, committed to living out truth and reconciliation locally, not just in word or symbolic gestures, but in our attitudes and our actions through the new paths that we are forging together. Congratulations to the people of Ochese First Nation, and thank you for all of you for being here today to celebrate this significant community and provincial milestone. This project has the potential to set the stage nationally for the social, economic, and cultural benefit of Indigenous self-government. We know that for many who are present today, that this moment marks years of hard work, of leadership, of advocacy, and passion for our community and for Indigenous prosperity. It is in this spirit of a shared new beginning that we look towards the success of this project and a new day of all who will be welcomed through these doors in the future. May we, as we celebrate this project today, honor the lives of all residential school children by not only remembering them, but by promising to do better and by reaffirming our commitment to do better. Thank you to the peoples of Ochese First Nation for your commitment to transform our city in a good way. Thank you very much.
Welcome Mayor Jim Wood. Mayor Wood was elected to council in 2004 and elected as mayor in 2010. Jim is very passionate about politics, economic development, casinos, just kidding, and regional collaboration. Jim operates a cattle and grain operation. He also earned a diploma in business and an undergraduate in management. Mayor Woods has contributed to many boards and committees. We welcome you. Jim Wood.
Well, thank you for that introduction, Chief Beaverbones and your council and all the members of the Ochese First Nation. We have more brass here than I've seen for a long time, but it's great to see a regional chief and a premier here, and all my friends here. I'm going to start going, but I better be careful because I'm going to miss somebody. So I'm going to leave it at that. But I want to say that today, this is a very, very important day, because not very often would I have the opportunity to, in fact, see so many people of importance in one room to recognize such an important event. And I believe that the entrepreneurship of the Ochese is definitely one of the things that we really, really think that is so important to this region. I know the Ochese has been in the casino business for a little while, because I know they've got an establishment downtown Red Deer, and I've been there, but not usually to lose a lot of money, but normally to, in fact, volunteer for a community group. And I just wanted to acknowledge the importance, not only to the Ochese for the casino, but the benefit to every member of this region, and I'm talking a large region, for those dollars that come back from those casinos to help each and every community. I want to say today that this is extremely important day because I've actually left my council meeting to be here. And very rarely, I think this is probably the first time ever, that I've actually left one of my council meetings to come to another event. And I think that it's extremely important that at these events, although I have very many friends here, I have some that I have not met that well. And I look forward to having conversations and getting together more into the future. But on that note, I just want to say congratulations once again, first of all, for inviting me and to share this very important day with you, and to bring congratulations from not only myself, but from the council, the staff, and all of the residents of Red Deer County. May this venture be very successful.
John Vandermeer, Deputy Reeve of Clearwater County. John? Oh, right here. John is an engineer from the University of Alberta. He has held several managerial and executive positions over a 35-year career in the oil and gas industry. Let's welcome John Vandermeer.
Well, thank you. And Chief Beaverbones, Chief Fortress, Premier Kenny, MP Dreeshen, ministers, mayors, councillors, and dignitaries. I'm here representing both Clearwater County, which is home to the Ochese Reserve, and CAPE, the Central Alberta Economic Partnership. I'm honored to be here to witness and partake in this blessing and ribbon-cutting ceremony for this very important venture of the Ochese Band. As chair of the Central Alberta Economic Partnership, which is made up of some 35 Central Alberta municipalities, 20 associate members, and covers an area of most of Central Alberta and representing some 300,000 citizens, we work together as municipal and business leaders to become known as a prosperous and innovative region. Prosperity for the area is contagious and should result in benefits to all members and residents. I recently met with Chief Beaverbones and he described how this venture in Red Deer will increase travel from the Ochese Reserve to Rocky Mountain House and onward to Red Deer along the soon-to-be twinned Highway 11. This corridor links people and businesses. In this meeting, we also discussed the announced and other yet-to-be-announced improvements along the route to Red Deer. Further discussion involved the western extension of the corridor to link the other communities of central British Columbia with those in central Alberta. This is a project recently labeled the Connections Corridor. We expect the Ochese Band will soon become a CAPE member, which will further strengthen the Central Alberta Economic Partnership and assist the Ochese goals. On behalf of the Central Alberta Economic Partnership, Board of Directors, our members and associate members, I wish the Ochese Band much success with this ambitious and important commercial venture. Thank you.
I'd like to say welcome and thank you and acknowledge Chief Jonathan Frencheater. He's standing at the back there alongside his colleague there, Joey Frencheater. Let's give those guys a big round of applause. If you can just say, wave. Thank you for being here. Sunchild's our neighboring community. So at this point, I would like to welcome the CEO of Spartan Delta Corporation. If you can come on up. Gentleman's name is Fotis. I hope I say this right. Kalantzis. He'll correct me anyway. Thank you, John. Fotis. Come on, I don't have a mic. Say a few words, Fotis.
Good morning, everyone. It's my honor and my team's honor to be here today with Chief and Council. We are here to celebrate partnership and entrepreneurship, to start business in this environment with COVID and all the financial challenges that we face in the province and in the world. It's a big, bold move. So I congratulate you, Chief and Council, for starting this business. And Spartan Delta, it's a new company. We've been around for the last 15 months. 15 months ago, Spartan Delta was only 200 barrels a day company. And then in the midst of COVID, we did the bold move to acquire assets on the Ochese lands. Those assets were bankrupt, so we brought in over $200 million into this province to invest it in oil and gas. The majority of that is on Ochese lands. So with the support of Chief, we built a strong partnership. I consider the Ochese and Chief personally not just my partner, but my friend. 14 months ago, when oil was negative in Alberta, we sat down, and Alice and Danny, and with the support of the Chief, and we negotiated a true partnership. Spartan Delta, within 1 year, when we suspend wells, we abandon them. We don't kick the can down the road. We actually, within 12 months, if a well is not producing, we're going to clean it up. With the support of the government in the last year, we were able to clean up everything. On the Ochese land, there is no suspended, there is no orphan wells. All the wells are cleaned up. Spartan Delta is spending $65 million this year on the Ochese First Nations lands. We've been able to hire many people, many of their own services. We hired in this province on a full-time basis over 200 people and hundreds of consultant jobs. So we are here to work hard with the Ochese First Nations to actually create wealth for our own shareholders, for the Ochis, for the other First Nations in the area. We are aggressively expanding the same way that they're bold in creating and diversifying their business, like this beautiful hotel. We are doing the same, and we are looking forward to work together in the years to come and add more jobs and more activity and drill more wells. We bought out of bankruptcy 25,000 barrels a day, and in the last 6 months, we grew by 25% just on their own lands. We have rigs full-time drilling on the lands, and now Spartan Delta today, it's a 40,000 barrel a day producer with the goals to become 100,000 barrels. And we want to share both the opportunity, the wealth, and the jobs with the Ochis First Nations and the rest of the First Nations in this area that we're going to operate. I'm very proud to be here today, and I'm very proud to call Chief my friend.
Hey, thank you.
So, I have a special present for the Chief. So, this is the symbol of Spartan, and there is a history on that. It's 3,000 years old history. So, Chief, to commemorate the grand opening of the Cambridge Hotel and Conference Center in Red Deer under the Ochis First Nations leadership and ownership, in partnership and friendship from Spartan Delta. Oh my goodness.
Thank you for your partnership with Ochis First Nation. So we have one more speaker, a gentleman by the name of Pat Breen. Come on up. Just a reminder, all the speakers, as I mentioned earlier, if we could have a group photo after the last speaker here, we'd very much appreciate that. So Pat Breen here is the Vice President of Operations of TACA North. Welcome.
Thanks, Alan. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for the opportunity to speak today. Congratulations to Chief Council, elders on acquiring this hotel and on your journey to economic and social success. I've been sitting today listening to all this, and I got to say I'm pretty proud, number one, to be an Albertan. I was born in Calgary 65 years ago. I've lived my whole life in Western Canada, and I've worked 45 years in the oil patch. So I'm a big believer in the oil patch. Thank you, the Alberta government, for your support in that. It's been some tough times, but we'll get through it. But, you know, in my years with the oil industry, I've been with TACA since 2014. I first came to get involved with the Ochis in 2015. So TACA North was created in 2007 when it acquired a company called North Rock Energy. North Rock had done a lot of development in the West of Rocky area on Ochis lands. Today we operate 75,000 barrels a day in Alberta, and 55,000 of that is on Ochis lands and Ochis traditional areas. So Ochis is very important to us. So we recognized that in 2015, and TACA had not struck an agreement with Ochis to drill on their lands since they acquired it in 2007. And our lands and our mineral rights have been sitting there untouched for 6 years. So I was tasked with the job of striking an agreement with Ochis. So I met with, at that time, Chief and Council, Chief Whitford. And I remember the very first thing Chief Whitford said to when he addressed it, he says, "We don't want your money." And I thought, what? That's the first time. I've been involved in more than 5 and less than 10 negotiations with First Nations people throughout my career. And that's the first time I ever heard that from a First Nations chief. So it struck me as different. And then we sat down at a table and we talked about what was important to the community. And what was important was economic sustainability, social sustainability, culture. And we took that as the cornerstone for our agreement. We put together an agreement that I am actually very proud of. I was the primary author on my end. The lawyers came along, and thanks to them, they made it legal. But we got it endorsed in 2016. And I'll give you a little snapshot of what that's meant to the Ochis people. So one of the big issues, or one of the big cornerstones of our agreement, was employment and utilizing joint venture companies and people of the Ochese. In 2015, TACA spent $5 million with 7 companies that were associated with the Ochese. To June 30th this year, we spent $19 million with 28 companies. And in cumulative in the 6 years, we've spent $60 million of revenue with Ochese companies and Ochese joint venture companies. And every one of those flows back to the bands in different ways. So I think it's been a very beneficial, and it's been a lot of work. I thank, Chief, Council, the business reps, Ochese Business Center. They've all been very supportive, and I'd like to thank them for their support. So congratulations today. I look at this as another milestone in your journey to economic success and sustainability. And thank you very much, and TACA looks forward to being a part of that.